Everyone thinks Pixel Buds Pro are just Google's AirPods for Pixel owners, but here's the thing, after 2 weeks of testing across flights, commutes, and workouts, I realized they're not trying to be flashy at all. They're trying to disappear. Scroll stop, that sounds boring, right? Contrarian snapback. It's actually the #1 reason they beat some louder, pricier buds in day-to-day life. Not the spec sheet, not the hype. The 3 things you really need to know came out only after 20+ hours of real-world use, multiple device switches, a wind test, and a decibel check on the train. And a couple surprises flipped my expectations. Before we dive into what I discovered, quick heads up, if you're already convinced and want the best current price, I've got the Amazon link below. They're sitting around $179 with an average 4.2 rating, but stick around, because what I found might change which color or even which buds you pick. Here's why I went hunting for new earbuds. I bounced between a Pixel 8 Pro and a Windows laptop all day, with a 45-minute subway ride and a noisy open office 2 days a week. I've tried the usual suspects. One pair had stellar ANC but gave me ear pressure ache after an hour. Another sounded great but kept hopping between devices at the worst moments. The last ones fit like a dream until I ran, then they slowly walked themselves out of my ears. I wanted 3 things: real comfort for long sessions, reliable multipoint, and ANC that doesn't crumble on the train. Honestly, I didn't expect the Pixel Buds Pro to nail all 3. Past Google Buds were hit or miss for me, so I went in skeptical. First test, the commute. I ran the Buds Pro with ANC on for a full week of rides. Visual, show a train scene with a dB meter overlay. Low frequency rumble, dramatically reduced. I could listen at 60 to 65% volume instead of cranking it. Voices and sharper sounds still slipped through, but not enough to break focus. Transparency mode let me hear announcements, though it isn't as natural as AirPods Pro 2, it's a touch hissy in quiet rooms. But then, here's where it gets interesting: conversation detection. Start talking and the Buds auto-pause, flip to transparency, and resume when you're done. On screen, quick demo at a coffee shop. It's eerie how well it works, and it stopped me from doing that awkward earbud yank mid-order. Second test. The gym and long wear comfort. I did 5 sessions plus a 3-hour editing block. The buds are compact, the seal is solid, and that pressure relief vent does its job. I had 0 ear fatigue, even with ANC on. IPX4 on the buds handled sweat fine. I wiped the case since it's only IPX2. But then, a snag: no stabilizer wings. If your ears need that locked-in feel for sprints or hit, you might want foam tips or a different pair. For me, a slight twist and seal kept them put on runs up to 5K. Touch controls were responsive. And yes, you can assign ANC toggle and volume swipes in the app. Third test, calls, wind, and multipoint. I took 5 calls, 2 outside and 12 mph wind. Indoors, voices sounded clean and full, with callers rating me 8.5 out of 10. Outside, wind suppression was decent, but not Sony WF-1000XM5 level. You'll still get some buffeting in gusts. Cup a hand over your cheek in heavy wind if it's an important call. Now the good part: multipoint was rock solid. I paired to my Pixel and a Windows laptop, then jumped between YouTube and a phone call without diving into settings. But then the twist: one morning my laptop held onto the stream and delayed the phone's audio for a second. Fix was simple: pause on laptop, hit play on phone, but it happened twice in 14 days. Still better than most buds I've tested. Fourth test, sound quality and features. Out of the box, the tuning leans warm with assertive bass that never bled into the mids for me. Vocals sit forward enough, treble is smooth, and volume EQ keeps the balance intact at lower volumes. If you want more bite or air, the 5-band EQ in the Pixel Buds app is clutch. I added a slight 3.6K Hz lift and a 10K Hz nudge for sparkle. Spatial audio with head tracking on Pixel phones is a fun bonus in supported apps. It's not studio grade, but movies feel more immersive with subtle positional cues. Latency for casual gaming is fine. For rhythm games, you'll still notice lag compared to wired. No high-res codecs like LDAC or aptX, you're on AAC SBC, but honestly, with this tuning and ANC, most listeners won't miss them. Here's the revelation after all that time. The 3 things you need to know are not what the spec sheet screams. 1. Comfort is the silent killer feature. The pressure relief and compact shell made these the only ANC buds I could wear for 3 hours straight without thinking about my ears. 2. The smarts actually save time. Fast pair, find my device, multipoint that mostly behaves, and conversation detection mean fewer taps, fewer settings dives, fewer awkward moments. It's not flashy, it's invisible efficiency. 3. The ANC is very good, not class-leading, but the overall package is more consistent than many pricier options. Sony XM5 still wins on pure cancellation. AirPods Pro 2 still has the most natural transparency and call performance in wind, but the Pixel Buds Pro thread the needle with dependable connection, customizable sound, and strong battery life. Up to 7 hours with ANC on, 11 with it off, plus wireless charging in the case. Too good to be true? Not quite. Transparency could be cleaner, no LDAC might bug audiophiles, wind can trip up the mics, and the case is a little slippery. But for the price I paid, the trade-offs made sense. Now that you know the real story, here's your next move. If comfort and smart convenience top your list, grab them while the price holds. Link in the description for the best current deal. I'll also drop my EQ preset and the foam tips I used for extra seal if you do a lot of running. Bottom line, I recommend Pixel Buds Pro for Android users, especially Pixel owners, who want all-day comfort, reliable multipoint, and strong ANC without fiddling. Frequent flyers and commuters will love them. If you need the absolute best transparency and windproof calling, consider AirPods Pro 2 on iOS or Sony XM5 if you want maximum ANC and LDAC on compatible phones. For everyone else, these are the buds that disappear and just get out of your way, and that's exactly the point.